Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. President William Samoei Ruto seems to be a man who does not know how to deal with an aftermath of his actions. Sometimes he doesn't have plan B, or rather he has plan A and plan B, but if plan B fails, he realizes that he's been left naked. Many experts are arguing that the president sought for power, and his main reason was to prove to his detractors that he can also become a president. His main pride was to ensure that he defeated Uhuru's project and thereafter to do away with all his policies. Then beyond that, there was never a plan. And that is why things are not working out for him. The economic plan, the bottom-up economy, the people who are given jobs like David D are not doing anything. That's why the aftermath of after winning, or rather being pronounced the winner of the 2022 election, is becoming a mirage for him. Just the other day he was saying that he was really congratulating TZ for surpassing Kenya in terms of trade of goods and services within the East Africa. Now, he also orchestrated the impeachment of his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua. He claimed that Rigathi had infiltrated the Gen Z protest and that Rigathi wanted to topple him, Rigathi sabotage him. But now, the aftermath of that impeachment is becoming a tall order for him. And the people who are advising William Ruto are not good advisors, because many would have expected that after you have impeached Rigathi, if you don't want to give him mileage, if you don't want to give him sympathy, then you let him be. Let him play his politics. But you see, we have witnessed, like it happened in Limuru, where goons were unleashed to go and disrupt that event, simply because he was there with the former member of parliament of Limuru, Mwadhi, and we've had stories that Mwadhi was kidnapped. Very many theatrics and serious allegations in that area. Chairs were destroyed, tents, and there's someone who's arguing that if you've been in the rural setups, those are investments. You see some women group coming up and they save some little money, chama hapa na pale, then they buy those tents and chairs so that whenever there is a function, a funeral, a harambe, any gathering, then they'll give out and they will get some returns. So when you go ahead and destroy, people's investment, then you are an enemy simply because you are targeting one man. Now today there was another funeral in Kirinyaga. We've seen some of the members of parliament telling Rigathi Gachagua that you should not go to such funerals because you are a threat to security. And they are telling him you should not go. In other words, they've started gagging him. They have started limiting his freedom and rights. But who is Rigathi Gachagua? Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto were cut from the same cloth. That is what many people believe. They are very abrasive. They are a go-getter, and that is why it was not even very easy for them to work together. So having realized that he could be a target, having realized that when he is there, the government would unleash even more mayhem, and innocent people, women and children, and people's property would be vandalized, Rigathi Gachagua decided to beat Ruto in his own game. He sent a condolence message via phone. And when you look at the scene, by the mere sound of Rigathi Gachagua, the crowd exploded. They show their love. This is what happened. Yeah. You see, in Ruto's mind, there are three things that are in his mind. Number one, William Ruto wants to slow down Rigathi Gachagua because he knows very well that the more Rigathi Gachagua, traverses Mount Kenya, he has pocketed, he has locked out William Ruto from that area. And after that impeachment, William Ruto thought that they would easily embrace Kithure Kindiki. But what happened in Embu during the consecration of that bishop really shocked the whole government. Because Embu is Mount Kenya East. We had been told that Mount Kenya East would easily embrace Ruto. You remember Sabina Chege telling us that, Mount Kenya is calm, cool. It is the same hands that appointed Rigathi that have also appointed Kithure Kindiki, and so let both are our sons. Let us work with them. Yet we understand that Rigathi Gachagua was never appointed. In fact, there are people who voted for William Ruto just because Rigathi was there. So they thought they would be accepted in Embu, but they were humiliated because Rigathi was given a massive reception, a standing ovation, jubilation, but Ruto was literally humiliated. There was some kind of lukewarm reception for Kithure Kindiki. They want to mess him up. But when Uhuru Kenyatta and Rigathi Gachagua stood, or when the bishops mentioned their names, people were over the moon with joy. And this is disturbing William Samoei Ruto. Look at, for example, this scene here, where Rigathi Gachagua goes into a forum, Mount Kenya forum, and look at the way people receive him. Pole pole, pole pole, pole pole, pole pole. Pole pole, wewe. These are the kind of scenes that giving William Ruto sleepless nights. But the more he tries to block Rigathi Gachagua, the more the love between Rigathi and his people blossoms, it increases. When Rigathi gave that call and he talked to the people, it is like he is there physically. And then the people are listening to him now understand that it is the government that somehow are making them not to interact with their son. It will backfire on William Samoei Ruto. He is about to embark on a development plan, and this plan is going to coincide with the Thanksgiving ceremony of Kithure Kindiki after being appointed a deputy president. But things are not working out because you see, Mount Kenya, after Rigathi Gachagua was hosted with a lot of arrogance, they went quiet. And that's why people like Sabina Chege were saying that, we need to embrace peace. Yes, they were peaceful, but they don't forget. You've seen the way members of parliament from Nyeri, even from Limuru, they are being heckled, they are being booed, sometimes they are being chased they never get it smooth with the electorates. It is very rough, meaning they went against the wishes of the people. So William Ruto is still trying to calculate how is he gonna traverse that country. He could be easily humiliated. One, there could be very little turnout. People can decide to give that event a wild bath. They can decide that they're not going to attend. And Ruto does not want this to be seen. They can go there, and Rigathi might also want to be there because he's a leader. And Kithure will be humiliated, or William Ruto will be humiliated. So William Ruto is still trying to calculate, what am I going to do? And this is why he wants to slow Rigathi Gachagua down. But the more he uses all these tactics, it's not working for him. And as you can see, you cannot block, for example, Rigathi from speaking to the people via phone. You cannot gag Rigathi. If he's there physically, you can send goons, But when he speaks on phone, what are you going to do? Because they also understand that Rigathi will be in such funeral events and he will spill the beans. Rigathi has maintained that the reason why we fell out with William Samoei Ruto is because I told him off about Adani deal, about demolitions in the country, in Nairobi, where my people are, and so he did not want. He has claimed that in the cabinet, Ruto is always alpha and omega. There isn't anyone who can face William Ruto and tell him, you are going wrong. And many people from Mount Kenya views Kithure Kindiki as a puppet, because Kithure said, I will be loyal to you. You've seen the way Joho and Junet are now worshipping William Samoei Ruto. That is what William Ruto wants, and that is how people view Kithure Kindiki. Rigathi Gachagua was there as a man who was to protect the interest of Mount Kenya, and that's why they loved him. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi is unstoppable. That is one thing, you like it or not. Mount Kenya is gone, and gone forever. There is no amount of intimidation that will deter them. They are gone, and come 2027, William Ruto is going to witness what rebellion is. The same love that they gave to William Ruto is going to be directly proportional to the very rebellion that William Ruto is going to receive. One of the very disadvantage that William Ruto has is that his policies are very unpopular. And so when Mount Kenya rebels, many other Kenyans don't feel him. The church doesn't feel him. They have rejected his money. They have rejected him. They are telling him to his face, you are a liar. And this tells you, ladies and gentlemen, that William Ruto is going to find it very rough. Who is still with William Ruto? Maybe it is Raila, Atuoli, Oparanya, and the rest. People are suffering. And they're saying, we're not just going to follow our leaders. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua, this might be the trend. He will continue to speak to his people via phone. This is going to be very, very difficult. He will still attend Kikuyu cultural events. Rebels will be heckled and booed. Rigathi and his people will always be embraced. And that is Rigathi Gachagua for you. William Ruto will continue having sleepless nights. The best he can do is to let Rigathi be.